My dear students, a very good morning to all of you, beta. Hope you are doing fine and safe at your home. So, this is the second session on chapter number 9, Strategic Analysis of Operating Income, beta. In the first session, we have covered the topic activity-based costing, although not directly related with chapter number 9, but whenever you do question of topics such as customer profitability statement or direct product profitability, without the concept, without the knowledge, without the application of activity-based costing, you will not be able to solve those particular topics. Therefore, it's very necessary, although the topic relate to interlevel, but we have given sufficient time of 2 hours to cover that topic of activity-based costing along with the traditional method of recovery of overhead. The most important points in those traditional and ABC method of recovery of overhead are prime cost will remain same whether we are using the traditional method or whether we are using the ABC method. Can you please tell me the logic, beta? So start the day with a question and answer session. Can you tell me the logic why the prime cost per unit will remain same whether we are using traditional method or the activity-based costing method? चलिए जल्दी से कम्युनिकेट कीजिए मुझे. Prime cost, why prime cost will remain same whether we are using traditional or whether we are using modern method? The logic is both this method, whether traditional or ABC, differs from the viewpoint of recovery of overhead, that is the indirect cost. They have nothing to do with the direct element of the cost. Therefore, prime cost per unit will remain same whether we are using traditional method for recovery of overhead or whether we are using the modern method, that is the ABC method for recovery of overhead. The next important point is in traditional method, whenever we try to recover the overhead, we have to restrict ourselves to that 7 bases. We have to find out the BRR out of those 7 base only under traditional method, whether that overhead can be related to those 7 bases or not. It doesn't matter. There is a restriction, there is a rigidity in the traditional method. That's why there is an evolvement of activity-based costing in which there is no such restriction that you have to choose the logical base for the recovery rate out of those 7 bases only. You can use any base that will be the logical to the nature of overhead that is being incurred. Now the terminology is beta, whenever ABC question is there, you have to prepare minimum 2 working note. The first working note will be ABC recovery rate, in which there will be 5 column fixed statement. Activities, activity cost pool, activity cost driver, quantity of activity cost driver, and the resulting figure ABC recovery rate. Clear, beta? Now, second point is overhead product wise. It means you find out the recovery rate, and now based on the consumption of services by each product, you will find out the total billing. In other words, you will find out the total overhead that is to be borne by a particular product. Okay. Next, beta, we have started customer profitability statement, in which I have told you that there are 3 nature of overhead: manufacturing overhead, or we can call it as factory overhead or production overhead. Second, we called it as admin overhead or office overhead. And the third one is selling and distribution overhead. Can you please recall customer profitability statement is applicable for which type of overhead? Factory overhead, admin overhead, or selling and distribution overhead, or all of the 3. Customer profitability statement focus on which of the nature of overhead? Please leave it. Recall on your own. So customer profitability statement focus only and only on selling and distribution overhead. the premise of customer profitability statement is, although the customer are purchasing the same product, but their consumption of selling and distribution services are different from customer to customer. Therefore, the production cost, that is the factory cost per unit, will remain same in customer profitability statement, because we are preparing CPF for a product, and in that product there are different customers. We are trying to find out how each and every customer contribute to the profitability of that particular product. So production cost will remain same on per unit basis, but selling and distribution cost will definitely differ. So customer profitability statement basically analyze how much services are being consumed by different customer of the same product, so that their profitability, the winner customer or the loser customer, can be identified. Please write down at this point. In customer profitability statement, please write down this point. Please write down it up. The basic premise of customer profitability statement, the basic premise of customer profitability statement is, although the different customer of the same product have same manufacturing cost per unit, different customer of the same product have same manufacturing cost per unit, but different customer will consume different amount of selling and distribution services. But different customer will consume different amount of selling and distribution services. Okay, beta, chaliye. I have given you assignment of question number 5. Please tell me how many students have completed this assignment of question number 5, beta, on their own. Question number 5 on page number 38. I have given this assignment to you to complete this question before this session, current session. How many students have completed? Please communicate, beta. Please communicate, student. Even though you are not able to solve this particular question on your own due to any reason, time constraint or other engagement, please communicate. We have not tried it yet, so that I can focus on the numerical part also, along with the NLFF part also. Okay, beta. Please be true to yourself, beta. Whether you have completed the assignment of question number 5. If yes, say yes. If no, say no. No issue, beta. जल्दी रिवर्ट कीजिएगा बेटा आप. Okay, Om Prakash has completed. Very good. Priya has completed. Very good, beta. Sairam completed. Very, very good. Surya, Naveen. Okay, beta. Very good. So, majority of the students have completed the practical portion. Okay, beta. No issue about that. Now, the most important part of this particular question, question number 5, is the second part. Analyze the profitability of each customer. That is the most important part. If the question, suppose, carries 10 marks, mind it, beta, the first requirement part will carry a maximum of 4 marks. I don't think the paper setter will award more than 4 marks to the computation part because the computation is very simple. Okay. The main part of any question of customer profitability statement is the analysis part. Analysis of profitability of each customer. So let's start how we analyze the profitability of each and every customer in the question of customer profitability statement. Okay. So you can start whenever you have to analyze the profitability of each customer. You can start from the basic profitability. Please listen very carefully, beta. I will make you write down all this point, but once the discussion is over. So let's discuss before writing. Okay, beta. So focus on the discussion part, focus on the understanding part. Once it is completed, I promise to you, I will make you write it down each and every point. What is the format? What is the structure of customer profitability statement analysis? Clear, beta? Sure. Question number 5. Already you are done. There are 4 customers, A, B, C, and D. All the customers are buying the same product, BioAqua, at a rate of 218 less discount. So, lift selling price is given, actual selling price is given, while this is the purchase price. So, purchase price will remain same for all the 4 customers because they are purchasing the same product. Okay, beta. Now, you have been given 4 activities: sales visit, order taking, delivery, and product handling cost. And I already told you in the last session that in the customer profitability statement, there is 99% chance that you don't have to find out the recovery rate of selling and distribution overhead. It will be provided by the question itself. So for all the 4 activities, we have been given the recovery rate. Okay. For sales visit is dependent on number of sales visit. Order taking is dependent on purchase order. Delivery is dependent on delivery kilometer traveled. Product handling is delivered on number of cases sold, that is number of units sold. Now coming to the point. How to analyze the profitability in each and every question of customer profitability statement. Okay, beta. So let's discuss first. Don't write down the point. I will make you write down once the discussion is over. A promise from my side. Okay, beta. We can start from the profitability word. Okay. Out of this 4 customer, identify which customer is providing the highest profitability. Which customer is providing the highest profitability among the 4 customer on absolute terms, means rupee terms. Okay, so the first criteria will be identifying the profitable customer. Suppose out of A, B, and C and D, we don't know right the answer. Suppose customer B is incurring the loss. So we can start by this. Customer A, C, and D are the profitable customer, while customer B is the loss-making customer. I'm just presuming that customer B is loss-making customer. Right now, we don't have any data of calculation. Okay, beta. We are just discussing the format, the structure. In the second point of profitability state analysis, you can write down out of this 4 customer, which customer is contributing how much profit in absolute terms. Which customer is contributing the highest profitability in absolute terms, and also compute the profitability in relative terms, that is the percentage terms. So trust me, beta, if you mention this, you can easily cover 4 to 7 lines of the answer sheet easily on this particular point also. The first point, first of all, analyze through profitability, in which we will write down who are the profitable customer and who are the loss-making customer. Secondly, we will identify the most profitable customer, not only in absolute terms, rupee term, but also we will convert that profit into percentage term. See, out of this total profit, customer is contributing this amount. One very important point, beta. We have understood a topic in chapter number 4, Pareto analysis. Can you remember that topic? Pareto analysis. What is the basic crux of that topic, beta? Pareto analysis. Pareto analysis. In Pareto analysis, there is a 20-80 rule. We have also seen that not all the efforts will provide the same result. Target those 20% efforts which generate 80% result. On the same way, you can write down in the profitability statement by using the concept of Pareto analysis that not all the 4 customers will contribute to the company to the equal revenue or equal profit. Only 1 or 2 customers who are minor in number, but they will contribute the majority of the profit, the majority of the revenue of the company. So you can write down the concept of Pareto analysis in 1 or 2 lines to explain the concept of profitability in this particular analysis of CPS beta. This is about the profitability. Next, second point. Please remember beta. Customer fee has taken the highest number of sales visit. The highest number of sales visit. We don't have any objection that why customer fee is taking the highest number of sales visit, because it is having the highest number of volume. So it logically, if the customer is having less volume, it will have less sales visit. If the customer is having higher volume, the sales visit number can be higher. There is no objection regarding this. The objection is regarding the disproportionate services taken. The objection is regarding disproportionate services taken. Just consider the point beta. 78,000 odd unit has been ordered by customer C for a total of 16 sales visit. For every sales visit, we incur 750 rupees. But for the same category of customer, customer D has just purchased 15,000 units, but has taken 10 sales visits. This is our objection point. If you purchase less amount of unit, definitely you should consume our less amount of services. In the same way, customer B has purchased 38,000 units and has consumed 12 sales visits. So we have no objection why the customer has taken higher number of sales visits, but that should be justified with the number of unit purchased. In this case, there is a disproportionate services taken by customer B and customer D, despite the fact they are having very less volume. Similar is the case with purchase order beta. Customer C has placed a total of 78,000 unit order in 35 purchase order, while customer D has just purchased 15,000 odd unit by placing 24 purchase order. Higher the number of purchase order, higher will be our delivery cost along with the order taking cost, and order taking cost is 800 per purchase order. Okay, beta. So regarding the delivery also, regarding the product handling cost also. So the very first point we have discussed about the profitability. Now coming about number of purchase order. Can you tell me the solution, the way how we can reduce the number of purchase order without affecting the total quantity of purchase quantity? हमें परचेस क्वांटिटी अभी भी वही चाहिए, हम अभी भी चाहते हैं डी हमसे 15,516 यूनिट परचेस करे, but we want less number of purchase order. How this can be done, beta? Please communicate. How this can be done? Please communicate your logic, beta. How number of purchase order can be reduced without affecting the total quantity purchased by a customer? What solution we can provide to the customer so that the quantity, total quantity, annual total quantity will remain same, while at the same time purchase order reduces? Please communicate fast, beta. What should be the logic? What should be the answer that can be provided to the client so that they can negotiate on number of purchase orders? ओके सूर्या, वेरी गुड बेटा, द आंसर इज परफेक्ट। सही है आपका आंसर सूर्या। सूर्या लोडी करेक्ट आंसर बेटा। चलिए देखिए बेटा, द सॉल्यूशन कैन बी राइट नाउ, प्लीज take the help of calculator beta. 15,560 the unit taken by customer D, and the number of purchase order are 24. Please divide the total quantity 15,560 divided by 24. It will provide you the 648.33 answer. It means approximately 650 units are being ordered by customer D in a single purchase order. 650 units. If we can convince customer D to purchase to more units in a single purchase order, instead of 650 unit, we can convince them to purchase 1000 unit in a single order, then definitely the quantity will remain same, the total quantity, but the number of purchase order will be less as compared to the current situation. So if we can increase the order size, how we can write the answer? If we can increase the order size, that is number of units to be placed in an order, then definitely number of purchase orders should be reduced. But it might be possible, this is very important beta, you have to give all the situation that can happen by increasing the order size. It might happen that customer D is following the just-in-time system. Just-in-time system, please recall that topic beta, just-in-time system. Whenever I need the raw material, then only I will place the order. Whatever quantity I require, for that quantity only I will place the order. So customer D might have implemented the just-in-time system, and we as a supplier to customer D has agreed to supply on the terms and condition of JIT. That's why it might not be possible for customer D to place more number of units in a single order due to the just-in-time system implementation. This is the probability. This might happen. We are only presuming. We are only giving us the situation that this might also be possible if you want to increase the order size. Okay, beta. So first of all, number of purchase order can be reduced. Second, we can focus on number of sales visit. Why customer D requires so much sales visit? The solution can be, what solution you can provide beta? Our sales team is visiting 10 times for customer D for a volume of 15,000. While for customer C, the number of sales visit are just 16 for a highest volume of 78,000. What suggestion we can give to our client? The name of the client is ANCA Limited, so that the number of sales visit can be reduced to customer having less volume. What would be your logic, beta? Please communicate, beta. What would be your logic? Please try to participate, beta. If you participate in the discussion part, then definitely such point will be remembered for you for a long period of time. Otherwise, listening the concept will not help out, beta. Think over it. Definitely, you will provide me the correct answer. How number of sales visit? Right now, our sales team will visit the customer premises. In some of the customers, the sales visit number are high as compared to their volume. How number of sales visit can be reduced without affecting the total quantity being purchased by the customer? चलिए थोड़ा स्पीड में बताइए बेटा. On the basis of quantity order, No, beta Sairam, this will not be a perfect logic for this point. Priya, Freya Lodi, Naveen Kumar, Tejo, please answer, beta. What can be the solution to decrease the number of sales visits? Okay, I will provide you the solution. Try to use the technology. In today's environment, WhatsApp is very common, beta. Try to convince the customer to place the order through WhatsApp or Telegram if possible. The other suggestion we can give to the client ANCA Limited is might be the requirement of those customers who are using disproportionate services has not been standardized yet. मतलब जो उनकी order requirement है वो अभी तक standardize नहीं हुई है. Once you standardize the requirement of such type of customer, then definitely in less number of sales visits, their requirement quantity can be fulfilled by us. So there should be a communication gap. There might be a communication gap between our sales team and the customer, due to which the customer or the sales visit is much higher as compared to the other customer. So let's try to understand what's the basic requirement of such type of customer, what product they are needed. Once you prepare a standardized format for that, then definitely your sales visit will be lower as compared to the other customer. Okay, beta. So this can be the point given. The another point, very important point. The lift selling price is 250. That is the MRP. While the actual selling price is different. You can compare, beta. We are providing 22 rupee discount. We are providing 22 rupee discount to customer fee. Whether it is justified? Yes, it is justified based on the data, because customer D is our highest volume customer. Customer D is our highest volume customer. So highest discount of 22 per unit given to customer C is justified. But we are giving a discount of here 22, here 18, here 14. While we are giving a discount of rupee 18 to customer D, despite the fact that it is the third highest volume customer, the second highest volume customer is getting just a discount of 14 per unit, while the third highest volume customer is getting a discount of rupee 18 per unit. So apparently it is unjustified discount provided to customer D. So the solution will be, company will try to negotiate the discount policy with customer D. What could be the reason we have to provide? What could be the reason due to which customer D, despite being the third highest volume customer, is getting more discount on per unit basis as compared to customer B, the second highest volume customer? What could be the reason, beta? Why customer D is getting higher amount of discount on per unit basis as compared to customer B? जब देखेंगे बेटा जो यूनिट है उसकी वो 2.5 टाइम्स है, कस्टमर बी इज परचेजिंग 2.5 टाइम्स यूनिट एज कंपेयर टू कस्टमर डी. Still customer D is getting the discount per unit on a higher side as compared to B. What could be the reason, beta? Can you tell me? What could be the reason? Please try to participate, beta. Na? It's very, very important that you should participate, beta. Na? I'm waiting, beta. Please revert fast. What could be the reason why customer D is getting the higher discount on per unit basis as compared to customer B? The reason can be payment terms. It might be possible that customer A, B, and C are on credit terms, while customer D provides the payment on cash basis. Whenever goods are being purchased by customer D, the payment is provided on time, that is on the date of delivery. So definitely the customer which provide the prompt payment, that is the cash payment, will definitely get the extra discount. Okay, this is the very first point. The second point is very interesting, beta. Please try to understand that point. The second point is very interesting. It might be possible that customer D is the Mr. D is the customer to the organization as well as supplier to the organization. Whether it's possible, beta, the same person can be a customer to the organization while the same person can be a supplier to the organization. Yes, it might be possible. Suppose we are manufacturing goods which Mr. D require. So for that particular good, we are the customer D is the customer to us. Mr. D is the customer to us. While customer D, that is Mr. D, is also manufacturing some goods, which we require as our input. So there might be an agreement between us, ANCA Limited, and Mr. D, that whenever the transaction takes place, either from Mr. D or from us, ANCA Limited, both will provide such percentage of discount to each other. अगर हम उसे बेच रहे हैं as a customer, we will provide such a percentage of discount. If we are purchasing the input from Mr. D, the Mr. D will provide it the same percentage of discount to us. So it might be possible. So this is very, very unique point, beta. Why discount, unnecessarily high discount is being provided to one of the customer? The reason can be the payment terms is purchasing the product on cash basis, not on credit term. The second can be the same person can be a customer, the same person can be a supplier to the organization. So there can be a mutual agreement between Mr. D and the company that both will provide the specified percentage of discount whenever transaction took place. Okay, beta? Any doubt in this particular discussion, beta? And this discussion will be common to each and every question of customer profitability statement. Beta. Now, I have already told you, ICAI will never check whether you have written the same answer as given in the suggested answer. No way. In this subject of SCMP, there is an synthesis part, evaluation part, imagination part. No two person can think on the same way, beta. I repeat, no two students can think on the same way. Therefore, whenever you see the suggested answer, the recent suggested answer of 3 to 4 attempts, in every question, in almost every question, you will get a special note that alternate answer is also acceptable. Alternate answer is also acceptable, provided it is properly justified and clarified with conceptual clarity. अगर वो conceptual है, अगर उसमें आपने full clarity दिया है, even your logic, even your answer doesn't match with the suggested answer, don't worry about that, beta. You will get full marks. I am telling you with full authority, beta, that it is not expected by ICAI that you should write the same answer what has been written in the study material. Study material is providing you the basic guidance, beta. Na? No, always remember the dialogue. No two students can have the same imagination power. Different student will think from the different perspective. Each and every student perspective can be justified through marks if those were clarified with proper explanation and those are conceptually correct. Okay, so we have tried to prepare a structure whenever a question of customer profitability statement is there. So round beta, as per my promise, I will make you write down each and every point. Okay, beta, please write down format for. You writing format for write down in inverted comma analysis. Format for analysis inverted comma close of customer profitability statement. Please write down, beta. First point, give the first main heading, profitability. Write down the first point. In this point, profitability में पहला point लिखे. Identify those customer who are providing profit to the company, along with providing loss to the company. Second point, in the same point, beta, in the profitability main heading, write down the second point. Identify the customer providing the highest profitability dash in total and on per unit basis. Third point, beta, in the same main heading, profitability, write down the third point. Convert the total profitability in rupee into percentage terms. And in percentage term, convert it in percentage terms. Point number 4. Apply the concept of Pareto analysis. That is 20% customer contributes 80% of profit. 20% customer contributes 80% of profit. Okay, beta, this is the first point regarding the analysis. Write down the second point, volume. Calculate the volume in percentage terms. And identify the customer having highest volume. Please write down, beta. Next point, third point. First point is profitability. Second point is volume. Write down the third point, sales visit. First write down purchase order. Purchase orders. identify the customer whose number of purchase orders are not justified, as per the volume, whose number of purchase orders are not justified with the purchase volume. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट पे लिखिए बेटा, नेक्स्ट लाइन में convince such customer to reduce the number of purchase orders by increasing the order size. That is number of units placed in a single order. Okay, beta. Next line, beta. Same point. Next line. But it might not be possible for the customer. Comma, if the customer has implemented just-in-time system. Same point, beta. Next line. Bonus. You adding bonus. Reduction in number of purchase order will have a positive impact. On number of deliveries also. ठीक है बेटा, चलिए नेक्स्ट पॉइंट लिखे अब आप। रश डिलीवरी एक कंसेप्ट होता है बेटा, रश डिलीवरी। द कंसेप्ट इज डिलीवरी कैन बी ऑफ टू टाइप, रश डिलीवरी and normal delivery. What is normal delivery time? The normal delivery time, suppose the business takes 3 to 5 days to deliver your goods whenever it was ordered. Whenever you order online, beta, it is mentioned there that when this product will reach you. That is known as normal delivery time. Rush delivery means although our minimum time to deliver your product is 3 days, but you are insisting us to deliver the next day whenever we order the same. This is known as rush delivery. मतलब आप हमें पूरा 3 to 5 days जो आपके लगते हैं, हमें उसमें नहीं चाहिए. We require the product urgently. So it is requested by you to deliver the same product tomorrow. That is within 1 day of order. That is known as rush delivery. So in business, it is a common phenomena that customer places rush delivery order. That we are about to place the order, but we require the goods within 24 hours, within 36 hours, while the normal delivery period is above 96 hours, average delivery period. So, occasionally, if rush delivery has been placed by the customer, it can be acceptable. But if rush delivery is a normal feature of that particular customer, then definitely we have to talk with that particular customer. Since in normal delivery, suppose we are incurring 10 rupee per kilometer, but in case of rush delivery, definitely we will incur some extra cost. Suppose the cost is rupee 15 per kilometer. So definitely those extra rupee 5 will be borne by the company only and only when the customer is the profitable customer, and occasionally the customer is looking for rush delivery. But if a customer is looking for rush delivery on a regular basis, definitely we have to renegotiate the terms and conditions to say that any extra cost related to the rush delivery will be borne by the customer itself. So please write down beta rush delivery, RUSH, rush delivery. इसमें लिखिए बेटा occasionally it can be acceptable to the company. Occasionally it can be acceptable to the company. Full stop. But for a customer who is placing rush delivery order on a continuous basis, but for a customer who is placing rush delivery order on a continuous basis, comma, we have to renegotiate the terms and condition. We have to renegotiate the terms and condition by insisting that any extra cost incurred by the company due to rush order, any extra cost incurred by the company due to rush order will have to be borne by the customer. Clear है बेटा? चलिए, तो any doubt in this particular concept of analysis beta? Hope the matter is clear. Now we will move to a next question. Question number 6. I will give you beta 3 to 5 minutes to read out this question on your part. You don't have to solve this particular question. Just read out this question, a very simple question, nothing special about this question. Just you have to read out the same in 3 to 5 minutes, and then we will discuss the question orally and try to move towards the next question. It's a very simple question. Just I have to explain 2 or 3 terminologies, 2 or 3 concepts in this particular question, not more than that beta. Na? So you are having 3 to 5 minutes beta to read out this particular question number 6 on your own. Okay. बहुत अच्छे से पढ़िएगा बेटा इस क्वेश्चन को ना, so that we can discuss the question orally, the main points. Okay. Last 30 seconds, beta. Please try to read out the question very minutely. Okay, beta. Hope you read out the question. So, some new terminologies are there. Let's discuss those terminology. Otherwise, the question will be a very simple one, beta. There are three customers given in this particular question: PER, MGH, and WLY. Okay. The selling price per unit is given. Sale price is given. That is the gross sale price. That is the MRP. Payment terms: 3 by 10, net 30, net 30, 3 by 10, net 30. Although in this particular question, what does this 3 by 10, net 30 is being provided through explanation in a para. But it might be possible that being a chartered accountant student, being a student of financial management, the paper setter might think that this terminology will be acquainted with you. Therefore, they might not be able to provide such explanation. Although in this question, such explanation is given. What does it mean? If you make the payment within 10 days, you are eligible for 3% discount. CD जो बोलते हैं ना अपन cash discount. You are eligible for 3% cash discount if the payment is made within 10 days. Otherwise, the credit period of yours to make the payment to clear the dues is 30 days. While no such offer is being provided to second customer, it has just been given the credit period of 30 days. While the same offer has been provided to customer Y, that if you make payment in the next 10 days, you will be eligible for 3% CD. Otherwise, you have to clear your payment within 30 days. And a very important line is given in this point. Both customer 1 and 3rd have made payment within 10 days. to avail of the discount extended. So customer 1 and customer 3 have both availed the 3% cash discount if that is they made the payment within 10 days. This is the first term. FOB destination, FOB shipping point. FOB destination मतलब free on board. FOB means होता है free on board बेटा, मतलब हम उसके प्लेस तक यहां पे हम उसको डिलीवरी देंगे. So delivery cost will be borne by us, while in case of customer Y, delivery cost will not be borne by us. This is the second terminology. The third terminology given to you is very important, beta. Variable cost of sale attributable to net sale. What does this mean? Net sales. Variable cost of goods sold attributable to net sale. What does this word net signify? This net word signifies that whatever units you have sold, out of that, some units are returned from the customer in case of first and third. Therefore, 1000 unit minus 0.5%, minus 0.5%. Please calculate, beta. 1000 minus 0.5%. It will provide you 995 unit. So you have sold, you have get the revenue of 995 unit, and the variable cost is related to such 995 unit because of this word net sale. That is sales after deducting the sales return. Sales after adjusting the sales return. So whatever unit has been actually sold by you to the customer, the variable cost of such units sold to the customer are provided by the question. Had the word gross sale been given in the question, it means this is the variable cost of the unit sold, which has not considered the variable cost of return good. So therefore, we have to proportionately calculate the variable cost on the net sale. समझ में आया बेटा? ये net word का significance क्या है? Net signifies that whatever unit has been sold minus return, whatever unit has been net delivered to the customer, the variable cost is given to that point only. Okay, beta? Nothing special about this question apart from these 3 or 4 terminologies that are new to the student. Okay, beta? Now, coming to a very, very important question. Question number 3, beta. Question number 3. What we will do in this particular question? We will read out the question combinedly right now. After that, I will provide you a complete time of 5 to 7 minutes to solve this particular question on your own, beta. Na? This is one of the best questions in this particular chapter regarding the interpretation technique, regarding the interpretation skill. I am quite confident, beta. Just after reading, combined reading by you and me, you will be able to solve most of the points given in the requirement part in those 5 to 7 minutes. Okay, beta. So let's read out this question number 3 first, and then I will provide you the time to solve this particular question on your own. Okay, beta. Chलिए. आइए क्वेश्चन नंबर 3 में XYZ Ornamental Company has been a name to count on for quality and service. So the company name is XYZ Ornamental Company. Company is reputed for its quality and service. It has been designing wide range of ornamental products for more than 2 decades using the highest quality standards. So the company is approximately 2 decades old. Such quality is achieved through a year of experience and the integrity that is maintained by its employees. Employees are known for their perfection. VGG approach us, XYZ is our client. VGG approach us to make inquiry of 2 products. So this is our customer. VGG is our customer. So customer name VGG has approached us for 2 products. The 2 products are known as indoor fountain. The product name is the Star, and a large gnome known as the War for garden. So they have inquired about 2 products, the Star and the War. Okay. Mr. Bob, the management accountant of our company, have estimated the variable cost per unit of star and war has been 622.5 and 103 respectively. So जो management accountant है हमारी कंपनी का मिस्टर बॉस have already computed the variable cost being 622.5 and 103.75. क्लियर है बेटा? चलिए प्रोडक्ट डेटा दिया है हमें. Star 10,000 unit, Wharf 20,000 unit, other product 80,000 unit. Total material cost has been given. Total labor cost has been given. Total variable overhead for the company are 1 crore 20 lakh, out of which 30% belong to the procurement, warehousing, and use of direct material. So, variable cost in this particular question consists of three costs: direct material, direct labor, and variable overhead. Okay, direct material is given in the question, direct labor is also given in the question, and variable overhead is covered in point number 2. Okay, so in this particular question you don't have to find out the variable cost per unit because it is already given in the question. If variable cost is needed, it is given, but if prime cost is needed, then the prime cost will consist of direct material and direct labor, because variable overhead is a part of overhead that will not constitute the prime cost. Total variable overhead for the company are 1 crore 20 lakh, out of which 30% belong to the procurement, warehousing, and use of direct material. So 1 crore का 20 lakh अगर आप करेंगे तो it is 36 lakh rupee, while all other variable overhead means 1.2 crore multiplied by 70%, that is 84 lakh, belongs to the other variable overhead, are related to direct labor. So they have bifurcated the total variable overhead of 1.2 crore into two parts. Those related with procurement, warehousing, and use of material belong to 30%, and the other 70% belong related to the direct labor. Okay. Company presently allocate variable overhead into product unit using percentage of total direct material cost and total direct labor cost. This is very, very, very important बेटा. आज की तारीख में हम overhead को कैसे allocate कर रहे हैं? We are using two base. The first base is percentage of total direct material cost. For what overhead it will be used? जो 30% overhead है आपका, which relates to procurement, warehousing, and use of direct material, 1.2 crore into 30%, 36 lakh की recovery we are using through percentage of total direct material cost. है ना? While the remaining 70%, it is dependent on labor, and the recovery rate is percentage of total direct labor cost. It means they are using the multiple recovery rate. For 30%, they are using the percentage of total direct material cost, and for the remaining 70%, they are using the percentage of total direct labor cost. Already we have understood this beta in the last session of traditional costing. Okay. Customer is willing to purchase the star at 740 and 151 per unit. So this is the sale price, the maximum sale price that has been paid by the customer. Company will not accept any work yielding an estimated contribution to sales ratio less than 28%. This is important. So company has a policy, contribution to sales ratio, it is nothing but beta PVR. It is nothing but PVR. If PVR is less than 28%, company will not accept the order. So the minimum PVR, that is the minimum contribution in percentage, should be 28%. So right now, beta, what we have studied, the company name is XYZ, approached by a customer known as VGG to inquire for two products, the star and the war. Mr. Bob, if the management accountant, has estimated the variable cost of all the two products as 622.5 and 103.75 respectively. Other data you have been provided with the question is, you have been provided the unit details, you have been provided the total direct material cost, total direct labor cost. Along with that, in point number second, you have been provided the information of variable overhead. Now, this variable overhead will be bifurcated into two parts. The first part is 30% that belongs to procurement, warehousing, and usage of material. Therefore, to recover this 30% variable overhead, in third point, it is clearly given we have to utilize the base of percentage of direct material cost. While the remaining 70%, will be related to direct labor. So in point number third, it is clearly mentioned that for remaining 70% of the variable overhead, you have to take the recovery rate. You have to find out the recovery rate based on percentage of total direct labor cost. Okay. So full clarity is given in the question. Don't worry about that. Point number 4 state that what is the sale price that is being offered by the customer. And point number 5 is important. Company will not accept any order which yield a PVR of less than 28%. So the minimum PVR, minimum contribution in percentage, which we require is 28%. Okay, beta. Now, moving further, the director of company are considering switching to activity-based costing system. Right now, they are following the traditional method. How we can conclude that the company is currently following the traditional method? There are two reasons. If company is considering switching to a new method, that is ABC method. So definitely the existing method should be the traditional one. The second important point, this base of percentage of material cost and labor cost are available in those 7 bases of traditional recovery of overhead. Okay. So companies considering to switch to activity-based costing and recently appointed a management consultant firm to undertake an in-depth review of existing operation. As a result of that review by the management consultancy firm, the consultant concluded that estimated relevant cost driver, what do you mean by cost driver? Logical base. For material and labor related overhead. What is material related overhead? 36 lakh. What is labor related overhead? 84 lakh. Attributable to the product are as follows. Direct material related overhead. Okay. The volume of raw material held to facilitate production of such product is the cost driver. I am not elaborating this point because I want to provide you the opportunity to interpret this particular para. This is a very important para in this question. Intentionally, I am just reading out the para, not interpreting the language, so that you will have an equal opportunity to try this on your own in the coming 5 to 7 minutes. So in this point, we have been given the cost driver. Material ratio per product unit is being given. Interpret this point, beta. This is very important. Direct labor related overhead. Cost driver is given for 84 lakh rupee of overhead. What should be the cost driver? It is clearly given. It is number of labor operation. And what is labor operation per product unit? It has been provided to the you. Intentionally, I have not interpreted it. This is the most important interpretation para of this particular question. Read out the requirement part number 1 and please communicate to me whether requirement part number 1 belongs to the existing method, that is traditional method, or the ABC method. Don't answer in a hurry, beta. Take your time to read out requirement part number 1, the complete 2 line, and then convey me your answer whether requirement part is to be solved through existing method or ABC method or through both the method. 100% clarity is available in requirement part number 1 regarding my query. I'm waiting for your answer. Please provide me the answer, beta. What's your interpretation answer? Whether requirement part 1 is to be solved through existing method, that is the traditional method, or it is to be solved through ABC method, or both. Please revert first. Okay, Naveen Kumar, as per the view of Naveen Kumar, both the method. Okay, beta. Let's wait for other student to answer, and then I will communicate the final answer, correct answer. Sairam, Suraya, Avinash, Priya, Priyadarshini, Tejo, what's your answer, beta? Please communicate fast. I'm waiting for that. Okay, beta. As per the interpretation of requirement part number 1, this requirement part number 1 require the financial analysis of both the method, existing method as well as the ABC method, because a very important words have been given in the question using the cost information available, unit cost. So unit cost information is available for existing product also and for ABC also. So this financial analysis of the decision strategy will be based on existing method as well as based on ABC method. This is my first question. Okay. Now my second question. What is the decision strategy in this particular question? Can you please identify that point, beta? It is already given in the question. Just you have to communicate me. For this is the decision strategy which we have to analyze. Analyze means which we have to compute and describe them in our own words. So first of all, it is correct that both the method answer will be required in this particular requirement part. The second important point is when you apply the existing method or when you apply the ABC method, what will be the decision strategy in this particular question? It is given in the question. I have provided you that. It is given in the question. And once you have identified the decision strategy, you can make the computation and easily analyze those data. But before analyzing, you must be having what is the decision strategy in this particular question that has been provided by the question itself. No, I'm waiting bit up. Okay, Priya, Freya, Sairam, the earlier answer is correct, beta. You have given the both the method. Priya, you have given only the ABC method. Understood, beta? Why the existing method is also to be used? Because the word has been given using the unit information available. Unit cost information has been available for both the methods. And now tell me the answer of this particular question. Analysis of decision strategy. So first of all, we should determine what is the decision strategy in this particular question that has been given in the question. Once you have identified, then it will be a very simple task to solve this question. If you are unable to find out, beta, have a look at the question detail. Definitely you will find what is the decision strategy in this particular question. Please communicate fast, beta. I'm waiting. Okay, very good, beta. Freya, your answer is correct. Congratulations. So the decision criteria is already being given in the question in point number, I think, 5th, that company will not accept any order which yield a PVR of less than 28%. So this should be the decision criteria whenever you analyze whenever you compute, you have to compute the PVR as per existing method. The sale price is being given to you. The variable cost has already been computed for the existing method. Just you have to compute the contribution and convert those contribution in percentage terms. You know, that will provide you the result which product is contributing minimum 28% PVR, while for the other method direct material is given, direct labor is given, but this is the recovery base for the existing method, while the recovery base under ABC is being given that volume of raw material is the cost driver for rupee 36 lakh overhead, and for the remaining 84 overhead the cost driver is number of labor operation, and how much is the number of labor operation it has been given here. So I'm providing you a sufficient time of 5 to 7 minutes beta. What you have to find out? Sale price minus variable cost. So this will be the contribution, and you have to find out the PVR. In case of existing method, this is very simple. While in case of ABC, what you have to do? You have to find out the prime cost, raw material, direct labor, and you have to find out the variable overhead based on this two drivers, material related and labor related. The cost driver is given in this point, and then you will be able to find out the contribution. And once contribution is to be find out, you can convert it into PVR. So the existing method is very simple since the variable cost is ready-madely given. While in the ABC method, you have to differentiate between prime cost and the variable overhead. Prime cost you can easily find out through this first point. And regarding the variable overhead, the cost pool is given 36 lakh and 84 lakh. The cost driver is being given to you. Just you have to compute the quantity of cost driver that is not being given ready-made in this particular question. Okay, beta. So you are having a time of 5 to 7 minutes. Utilize each and every second of this time are provided to you so that the strategical thinking can be developed by you. Beta, na? I'm a firm believer that only listening to the lecture will not provide you the required confidence that is required to face the examination. When students fall on their own without the fear whether they might be wrong or correct, it doesn't matter. But once students fall on their own, they have the habit of solving, dealing the question on their own. Definitely, they are preparing themselves to face the examination. Okay, beta. Because in examination, I will not be there. Your well-wisher will not be there. Only and only whatever you have learned in the learning phase, whether you are able to solve that question on your own. This is the very important technique that you have to develop in this learning stage, which will be definitely developed by you. That will help you the most to face those examination of 3 hours. Okay, beta. For best of luck, I am giving you 5 to 7 minutes to solve this particular question on your own. I have provided you the structure for existing part, and this is the part for ABC method. The most important calculation is quantity of cost driver. Once you have gone through this quantity of cost driver, the calculation will be very simple related to ABC method. Okay, beta. 5 to 7 minutes are available with you. Please give your 100% efforts while solving the particular question. Okay. Still 3 or 4 minutes are left with you. You can easily solve the requirement part number 1. Have a confidence in your ability. Okay, beta. Hope you have provided your 100% efforts, beta. Now it's time to check out this. Okay, let's check it out. What should be the logical answer under traditional method and ABC method? So, if we are following through existing method, we have been given certain advantages that we don't have to calculate the variable cost. It is provided in the question. So, the first product is star and the other product is wharf. Sale price is being provided to you. Please check point number 4, beta. Sale price is 740 and 151 minus variable cost is given in the very first para. In the very first para, variable cost is given, beta. Last second line, first para ki 622.5 and 103.75. And this variable cost consists of 3 elements: direct material, direct labor, and variable. Already it has been computed in the question. So no need to recalculate that one. So this is the contribution per unit. What is the contribution per unit? 740 minus 622.5. It's 117.5. 151 minus 103.75. It's 47.25. So converting it into percentage terms, so the PVR will be, the PVR is 31.29, while here 117.5 divided by 740, it's 15.88%. So if the method is the existing method, company will not accept the proposal of the first product star because it is not generating the sufficient PVR ratio. In other words, the minimum PVR ratio of 28%, while the second product is providing 31.29% PVR. Therefore, if the existing method is to be continued, then definitely WARF product can be accepted by the company. Okay, this is very simple part. Once you have gone through what is mean by the decision strategy, the word that has been used in requirement part number 1, solving the existing method is damn simple. Now ABC. Again, we are having the same two product, but calculation will be somewhat higher in this case. Now, the sale price is being given. What is the sale price? 740 and 151 minus, we have to deduct the prime cost, raw material. Please check beta point number 1. The total raw material cost for the first product is 22,50,000. 22,50,000. And how many units are there? See the first point only bit of the question. Divided by 10,000 units. So the variable cost is 225. And the labor cost is 150. Total raw material cost divided by 10,000 units. Total labor cost divided by 10,000 units. In the same way, 7,50,000 divided by 20,000. It's 37.5. And it's 25 rupees. Okay, beta. Now this is the most important part. Most important part. Variable overhead. Variable overhead. This is the most important part, beta. Regarding the variable overhead, raw material related overhead, you have to find it out. And direct labor related overhead, we have to find it out. This is the most important part. I have already told you, beta, whenever there is a question of ABC, there will be minimum 2 working note, and the first working note is known as ABC recovery rate. First working note is known as ABC recovery rate. Okay, so we will find out the ABC recovery rate. There will always be 4 column in case of ABC recovery rate. No doubt about that. So we have been given 2 activities. You have to check beta the last para given in the question, the last statement given in the question, that will provide you the detail activity. Second point is activity cost pull. The third column heading is cost driver. That is the logical base. The next one will be the quantity of cost driver. Quantity of cost driver. And the last one is ABC recovery rate. Without this, you will not be able to solve the ABC question. A very simple logic, beta. Whenever the question of ABC is there, you have to compute the working ABC recovery rate. As simple as that. So, activity being raw material related and labor related. So we have been provided the information in point number 2 that out of 1,20,000, that is 1.2 CR, the total overhead is 30% related to material. The total overhead is related to material. So 1 crore multiplied by 30% is equal to 36 lakh rupee. Clear? Very simple calculation. And labor related is 84 lakh rupee, 1.2 CR multiplied by 70%. Okay, beta. Cost driver is given in the question. You can check this. Cost driver is given in the last statement. The volume of raw material held to facilitate production of each product, if the cost driver for material related overhead, it is given. And for labor, the number of labor operation is the cost driver. It has been given in the question. For volume of raw material. volume of raw material. And the second point is number of labor operation. And now this is the most important point, the quantity of cost driver, that is the quantity of volume of raw material and the quantity of labor operation is not given in the question. So I will tell you the most common error that has been committed by many of the students. This is not the volume of raw material, this is the volume of finished goods. You cannot consider this as a volume of raw material. Second point, 5 plus 8 plus 8 is equal to 18. 18 is not the volume of raw material. 7 plus 6 plus 5. Coincidentally, it is also coming as 18. 7 plus 6, 13 plus 5, 18. 18 is not the labor operation volume, number of labor operation. Important point is, this is given on per unit basis. Just a minute, beta. This is given on per product unit. What does it indicate? It indicates 5 units of raw material are needed for every product unit. 8 units of raw material are needed for every product unit. 5 units of raw material are needed for every product unit for other product. This is not the total. There are 3 products. Star, war. Although the customer required 2 products, but information is also given for the other product, remaining product. Okay, beta. So we have to find out the total volume of raw material, which can be find out as 5 unit multiply by how many units? Please check the detail given in point number 1, 10,000 unit plus 8 units of raw material multiply by 20,000 unit of work plus 5 unit of raw material multiply by 80,000 unit of other product. So communicate with the answer, beta. 50,000, 1,60,000 and 4 lakh. So the volume is 6,10,000. So the volume is 6,10,000 volume of raw material. Clear, beta? In the similar way, we have to find out the number of labor operation. How it can be find out? 7 hours of labor multiply by 10,000 units. 6 hours of labor multiply by 20,000 units plus 5 hours of labor multiply by 80,000 units. So it's 70,000 plus 1,20,000 plus 4 lakh. So it's 5,90,000 labor operation hours. This is the most important point of the question in requirement part number 1. So we can find it out, beta. 36 lakh divided by 6,10,000. It's 5.90. 5.90 per volume of raw material. 5.90 per volume of raw material, and 84 lakh divided by 5,90,000. It's 14.2324, I think, per labor operation. Any doubt in this particular calculation, beta? You can ask. I am waiting. Any doubt, beta, in this particular calculation of quantity of ABC recovery rate? Because it's the most important point. Please give a green signal from your side, beta. Yes, you have understood. Then I will proceed further, beta, na? Because this is the most crucial part of this question. Okay, no doubt to anyone. Okay, beta, very good. चलिए बढ़ते हैं अपन आगे. So this is 5.90 per volume of raw material. How many volume are required to produce 1 unit of the star? 5. So 5 into 5.9 will provide you the variable overhead per unit related to material. 5.9 into 8 per unit of raw material, 8 quantity of raw material are needed. And for every quantity of raw material, overhead of 5.9 will be incurred. Okay, beta. Now we will calculate. So it's 5 into 5.90. And here how much quantity? 8 quantity are required. Multiply by 5.90. Here 7 hours are required. Multiply by 14.24. And here 6 hours are required. Multiply by 14.24. Okay. Calculate 5.9 into 5. It's 29.5. 8 into 5.9. It's 47.2. 7 into 14.24. 99.68. 14.24 into 6, it's 85.44. The most important calculation of this particular question. Now we will find out the contribution in per unit as well as in totality. So contribution per unit. 740 minus 225 minus 150, 29.5, 99.68. So it's 235.82 divided by 740, it will provide you a PVR of 31.87%. Clear? Then 151 minus 37.5 minus 25 minus 47.2 minus 85.44. It's 44.14 divided by 151. It's 29.23. So as per ABC method, both the product are providing us the minimum PVR of 28%. So a very, very, very important technical interpretative question, a very good question. First of all, the interpretation is which method is required in requirement part number 1. Second, you have to analyze the decision strategy. So you have to identify from the question, what is decision strategy? Okay. And third point, the ABC part, that is calculating the ABC recovery rate, is the most important part of this particular question. Okay, beta? So very good question. I strongly recommend to consider this question in every revision, including the last day before examination. Okay, beta? Chaliए. Okay, beta. Chaliए. बढ़ते हैं अपन. Now we will take a break of 10 to 12 minutes. After that, we will start a new topic. In this particular chapter, they are known as DPP, Direct Product Profitability. Direct Product Profitability. We will start that topic after the break. Beta. So take a break of 10 to 12 minutes. We will meet sharp at 8:55. Beta, na? Break is till 8:55. We will start the new topic, Direct Product Profitability. So request, don't be late. Beta, na? The lecture will start sharp at 8:55. Okay, take a break. Welcome back, बच्चों. चलिए, so we will start the next topic, that is customer profitability. After customer profitability analysis, we will start next topic, direct product profitability. Use the heading in your copy, beta. Direct product profitability. Direct product profitability. Please open page number 7 of the study material. Page number 7 of the study material. Page number 7 of the study material. Direct product profitability. Write down the very first and most important point related to DPP in your copy, beta. Write down the first point. This method is applicable. This method is applicable exclusively for retail sector. Write down the retail sector word in inverted comma. This method is exclusively applicable for retail sector. Full inverted comma close, full stop. Example, best price, comma, DMart, Big Bazaar, etc. Now, in the last session, we have seen there can be three nature of overhead. Factory overhead, other name is production overhead, other name is factory overhead, production overhead. The second one is admin overhead, office overhead, and the third one is selling and distribution overhead. I have already told you that there is no method related to the recovery of admin overhead, office overhead. We simply divide it by number of units to get a reasonable share on per unit basis. Regarding the selling and distribution expense, we have got an exclusively method known as customer profitability statement. And regarding the factory cost, we are having a method known as activity-based costing. So whether it's a service organization or trading organization or a manufacturing organization, technique of ABC will be covered in factory cost. There is no technique for admin or office cost, and a technique known as CPS is available for selling and distribution cost. So why there is a new technique known as direct product profitability, despite the fact that we are having ABC in place, activity-based costing in place, CPS in place, customer profitability in place, why there is a need for a new method, and especially this method is applicable exclusively in service sector? No, exclusively in retail sector. Retail giants such as DMart will apply the technique of direct product profitability. DMart will not apply the technique of ABC or CPF. They will apply the technique of DPP to find out what's their true profit per unit. So the question still remains same. Why retail sector such as DMart need a separate method as differentiate from ABC or CPF? The logic lies in a manufacturing organization. What are the numbers of product that have been manufactured by a company? Say 5 product, max to max 10, 12, 15, 20. 20 products are being produced by a particular company. Exception are always there. Some company can even produce 30, 40 products, but there is a limit, 20, 30, 40, 50 products, max to max. In a service organization, how many services you can provide? The same answer. But when you talk about the retail sector and particularly the DMart concept, there are not 10, 20, 30, 40 products. They are dealing in thousands of products. So the very first reason why retail sector giants such as DMart, Walmart, Big Bazaar cannot apply ABC and CPF because they have vast number of product dealing in their organization. Thousands of product, very easily beta. DMart is dealing in thousands of product. So it's not practically possible for them to identify for each and every product how much services they have been consumed by different activities. It's not practically possible for them. Therefore, a new concept is to be evolved exclusively for retail sector known as direct product profitability. This is the first logic I have been provided to you, that why the retail sector will not use the ABC or the CPF. In fact, they will use the DPP method. Second logic I will provide to you, the range of product varies significantly in such organization. You can get a product worth ₹5 in DMart. Say yes or no? Yes, you can get a product worth ₹5. You can get a product worth ₹5,000 in the DMart. Yes, you can get a product worth ₹50,000 also in DMart related to electronics. So the range of price differs significantly. So it's also not practically possible for retail giant to apply ABC to find out how much each and every product has consumed the services provided by the different activities. So therefore, a new method is needed which will simplify the work of retail organization so that they can easily compute their profit. Please write down, beta. Why there is a need for new method, why there is a need for new method of DPP. That is why retail sector can't apply, that is why retail sector can't apply ABC method. Question mark. Please write down in the next line. The logic are, write down the very first point, beta. First logic. Retail sector are dealing in thousands of products. Write down the second point, logic number 2. The price range differs significantly. That is starting from few rupee to thousands of rupee. Next line. Thus, a new method is needed. Thus, a new method is needed which will simplify the work of retail sector. Which will simplify the work of retail sector. Write down the third main point. First main point you have written that this method is applicable for retail sector. Second, you have written down why there is a need for separate method if we are already having the ABC method that you have written. Now the third point, computation part. Please write down computation part. DPP will be calculated in 3 steps. So step number 1. In step number 1, we will find out the gross margin. Please write down, beta. In step number 1, we will find out the gross margin. In second column, write down, we will find out gross margin. And importantly, how gross margin can be found out? gross margin per unit we will find out? It's very simple. Sale price minus purchase price. No special calculation is to be done in step number 1. Step number 2 is the most important step of direct product profitability, and that is direct DPC. It's technically called DPC, direct product cost per unit. If you want to write the full form, please write it down. DPC stands for direct product cost per unit. DPC means direct product cost per unit. It will consist of 3 costs. Warehouse cost plus transport cost plus store cost. So this is the most important step in DPP. Direct product profitability means the most important step is to find out the direct product cost on a unit basis. Third point and the last point, we will find out the resulting answer now. And that is DPP, direct product profitability per unit. It's step number 1, gross margin, minus step number 2, that is DPC per unit. Okay, beta. Gross margin, direct product cost, and DPP per unit. I think we don't have to discuss the step number 1. It's quite simple. Step number 3 is the ultimate product of step number 1 and 2. So our discussion will rotate around step number 2, that is direct product cost per unit. It consists of 3 costs: warehouse cost, transport cost, and the store cost. Don't you think, beta, out of these 3 costs, 2 costs are same: warehouse cost, transport cost, and store cost. Out of these 3 costs, 2 costs are almost similar. Yes, you might think that warehouse cost and store cost are almost similar, but no way, beta. It's not the storage cost, it's the store cost. है ना? हम बोलते हैं डीमार्ट का इंदौर में ये स्टोर है, डीमार्ट का मुंबई में स्टोर है, डीमार्ट का चेन्नई में स्टोर है, डीमार्ट का कन्याकुमारी में स्टोर है. What is the place through which this retail giant sold their goods to the ultimate consumer? That is known as store. While the warehouse is centralized warehouse. So although it appears that warehouse cost and store cost are same, no. Warehouse means centralized warehousing cost, and store cost means the place where you sell your product to the ultimate consumer. That is known as store cost. So let's understand in detail DPC, direct product cost. Okay, beta. Take the example of DMart. Okay. For simplicity purpose, we are assuming there is one centralized warehouse of DMart, and for simplicity purpose, we are assuming there are 3 stores of DMart. Although there are more than 200 stores of DMart right now in India, but for simplicity purpose, we are assuming there are 3 stores of DMart. Okay, beta. So centralized warehouse, and for simplicity purpose, we are having 3 stores of DMart. This is centralized warehouse. This is store number 1. This is store number 2. This is store number 3. Suppose it is located in Chennai. It is located in Mumbai, and my own city, Indore. Okay, so there are 3 stores we are assuming for simplicity purpose. I have already told you there are more than 200 stores of such retail giant DMart. So centralized warehouse, there are 3 stores: Chennai, Mumbai, and Indore. So all the cost incurred in the centralized warehouse is known as centralized warehousing cost. So here comes the first cost, warehousing cost. warehousing cost. All the costs related to this are known as store cost. So DPC consider the warehousing cost, DPC consider the store cost, and DPC consider one point also, and that is the transportation cost. Okay, so the transportation cost, whenever goods are required by Chennai, Mumbai, or Indore store, they will make a requisition to the centralized warehouse, and centralized warehouse through its transportation transfer the goods from its centralized warehouse to each of the store. Such transportation from centralized warehouse to the retail store will be covered under the head transportation. So what type of transportation is covered in DPC, direct product cost? Transportation from centralized warehouse to the retail store will be covered in the head transportation. Please write it down, beta. Please write it down. Transportation cost from centralized warehouse to retail store will be covered under the head transportation cost. Will be covered under the head transportation cost. क्लियर है बेटा? सो अब समझ में आपको डीपीसी में क्या क्या कवर्ड होगा? वेयरहाउसिंग कॉस्ट कवर्ड होगा, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट कवर्ड होगा, एंड स्टोर कॉस्ट. स्टोरेज नहीं है, स्टोर कॉस्ट है. The place from where we will sold out our goods. Okay. Now there is a single example question on this particular concept of DPP, and that question is very, very, very important, beta. Na? Some technicalities are there. We have to deal with such technicality. So mark this question as the important one, so that you can revise this question in all the revision, including the LDR, last day before revision. So please open page number 10. Illustration number 2 is been given to you. Okay, beta. So I'm requesting you to have a reading of this particular question in next 3 minutes. Once you read out the question, we will combinedly read out the question and try to find out the DPP, direct product profitability, through the technique direct product profitability through ABC costing method. 3 minutes are available with you to read out this particular question number 2 on your own, and then we will have a combined rating. 3 minutes are available with you. Okay, beta, let's start the question reading. Question number 2. JIL has 30 retail stores of uniform size under the brand name Fruity and Sweetie Retails across the country. So the client name is JIL. It is in the retail segment. They are having 30 retail stores spread across the country. Mainly 3 products, butter jelly, fruit and nut, and icy cool are sold through this retail store. Although they will be dealing in thousands of products, but for simplicity purpose, they have given us the information of 3 products. The first product is butter jelly, fruit and nut, and the third is icy cool. Company maintains stock for all the retail store in a centralized warehouse. The concept is similar. In all the retail chain, there will be centralized warehouse. There will be n number of retail store. Whenever store require any thing, they will request to the centralized warehousing, and centralized warehousing will dispatch to them. The same concept will apply in this particular question. Company maintains stock for all the retail store in a centralized warehouse. Goods are released from the warehouse to the retail store as per the requisition raised by the store. Goods are transported to the store through 2 types of van, normal and refrigerated. There can be 2 products. The one which not require the refrigeration and the second which require the refrigeration. So the transportation will be done through 2 types of van, normal and refrigerated. This van are to be hired by the JIL company. So we have been given 3 costs: warehouse cost, head office cost, and retail store cost. Can you tell me, out of these 3 costs, which cost is to be completely ignored while calculating the direct product profitability? Warehouse cost, head office cost, or the retail store cost? Which cost is to be completely ignored while calculating the direct product profitability? Please, beta, please think over it. Oh, wow, very good. So head office cost has to be completely ignored while calculating the DPP, because DPP considers the purchase cost, warehouse cost, transportation cost, and store cost. No fixed cost will be considered in the calculation of DPP. So head office cost has to be totally ignored. Okay. Now we can check the content of warehouse cost and the retail store cost, labor and staff cost, refrigeration cost, and material handling cost. So it means we have to bifurcate the cost into 2 parts. Refrigerated, the cost is 1,52,000. Other cost is 27,000 plus 28,000. It's 55,000. Okay, beta. In the similar way, in the retail store also, we are having 2 nature of cost. The first one is refrigerated. It's 1,09,000. And the other 33 plus 47. 33 plus 47, it's 80,000 rupees. It is already mentioned in the first para that the transportation will also be done through 2 ways, normal van and refrigerated van. Okay, beta. So warehouse cost is there, retail store cost is there. Now we have been provided the transportation cost. Warehouse, transportation, and the retail store cost will constitute the direct product cost. And what is the cost of transportation? Average transportation cost of the company per trip to any retail store are, if the normal van is used, it's 3,200. If the refrigerated van is used, it's 4,900. We have been given the information of 3 products, yet it is unknown which of the product require refrigeration and which of the product doesn't require refrigeration. The chief financial manager asked a finance manager to calculate profitability based on 3 products sold through Fruity and retail store rather than traditional method of calculating profitability. So the modern method for retail sector is DPP, direct product profitability. The following information are further gathered. Number of carton per cubic meter. Number of carton per cubic meter. Cubic meter means length, width, and height. When all these things are covered, it is known as cubic meter. So एक cubic meter में हम कितने कार्टन स्टोर कर सकते हैं? 42 carton can be stored in 1 cubic meter if the product is butter jelly. If the product is fruit and nut, 28 carton can be stored in 1 cubic meter, and in case of IC cool, it's 40. Number of items per carton, हर एक carton में कितनी units है? It's 300, 144 and 72. What does this means, beta? Please try to interpret this point. This point is very important. Interpret this point. Time in warehouse and time in retail store. है ना? And try to provide me the answer of this fruit and nut. What does this 1.5 and 2 signify in the case of fruit and nut? I am giving you 1 minute, beta. Please try to interpret this point. This is a unique point available in this question. Okay, I am giving you 1 minute to decode it. What do you mean by the time in warehouse and time in retail store? Think over it, beta. Even you don't answer it, acceptable, because it takes a lot of time for typing. But think over it. What do you mean by time in warehouse and what do you mean by time in retail store? Okay, beta. Let's start the discussion. From company's perspective, it takes 3.5 months to sell that product to the ultimate consumer. When I purchase that product as a company, it takes me 3.5 months to sell that particular product to the final consumer. If we go, we will break that. When the centralized warehouse purchase such goods and when such goods are dispatched to the retail store, the time difference is 1.5 months. It means in average 45 days, the product will remain in the centralized warehouse. Time between purchase of product from the company and dispatching it to the retail customer is 45 days, 1.5 months. 2 months indicate when such products are received by the retail store from the centralized warehouse. The time from that point till the product is sold to the customer, the average time is 2 months. It means it takes 2 months to sell from the retail store to the final consumer. Okay. In case of butter jelly, it is 1:1. In case of IC Cool, it will be stored in half month in the centralized warehouse and 1 month in the retail store. Ultimately, in 1.5 months, it will be sold to the ultimate consumer. Okay, बेटा. देखते हैं इसका क्या इंपॉर्टेंस है आगे हमें. Sale price, very important point. Sale price is given on per unit basis. Per unit basis. It means gross margin will be find out on per unit basis. DPC will be find out on per unit basis. So definitely DPP will also be find out on per unit basis. So the difference between these two, can you tell me what can be called the difference between the sale price and the purchase price in the concept of DPP? What this will be called? Very good, beta. It is called gross margin per unit. So step number 1 will always be simple, no doubt about that. So selling price minus purchase cost is equal to gross margin per unit. Butter jelly, that is product number 1, and IC Cool, product number 2, are required to be kept under refrigerated condition. So out of 3 products, butter jelly and IC Cool are those products which require refrigeration, not only in warehouse but also in the retail store. Additional information. Total volume of all goods means refrigerated or non-refrigerated. It's 40,000 cubic meter per month. Total volume of refrigerated goods sold per month is 25,000 cubic meter. And what is the carrying volume of each one? It's 64 cubic meter per trip. Okay. So information is given. We are having 3 steps to compute the DPP, beta. Don't try to write it down, beta. Focus on only on the understanding part. So the first step is very simple. Gross margin on per unit. Sale price is given. purchase price is given. We can easily find it out. Don't write it down, beta. Na? Please try to understand the concept. That is more important. We are having 3 products. So the first product is butter jelly, fruit and nut, and icicle. Gross margin. It's very simple. Sale price minus purchase cost. Please communicate me the gross margin on per unit basis for all the 3 products. Gross margin on per unit basis for all the 3 products. Just a minute, I'm opening that question in my notes. Okay. So gross margin is calculated on per unit basis since the sale price and the purchase price is expressed in per unit. Had it been expressed in per carton, we will compute the gross margin on per carton basis. So what is the gross margin on per unit basis? It's 84 minus 76, 8 rupee. It's 8 rupee. Then 42 minus 34, coincidentally, it is also 8 rupee. 26 minus 22, it's 4 rupee. So it is gross margin per unit. Next point is the most important point. You have to find out the DPC, direct product cost, and that too in per unit, because DPP will be expressed in the same denomination in which you are selling your goods. You are selling the goods on unit basis. So direct product profitability will be find out on per unit basis. Okay, beta. Now, DPC will consist of 3 costs. The first cost is warehouse cost. The second cost is transport cost. The third cost is retail store cost. For DPC in this particular question consists of 3 costs: warehouse, transportation, and the third one is store. But what the problem is, we require the DPC on unit basis, per unit basis. But when you check the question detail, you will find out that the cost is given on per month basis. Cost is given on per month basis. And that too, cost is given for refrigeration and other costs. Refrigeration and other cost, but that doesn't multiply the situation. Important is we require on the cost on per unit basis, while the cost is given on per month basis related to warehouse and retail store, while the cost for transportation is given on the basis of per trip. So this is important. Cost is given on per month basis. It is given on per trip basis. It is given on per month basis. So how to convert this all per month, per trip, per month basis onto per unit basis? Because since the sale price is expressed, I'm repeating this multiple times, since the sale price is expressed on unit basis, all the calculation, the final calculation, the DPP will be done on per unit basis. Okay. We have been given the warehouse cost on per month basis, while we require the warehouse cost on per unit basis. Now, the most important question is how to convert the cost given on warehouse, related to warehouse, given on per month basis to per unit basis. Okay, beta. So I'm giving you time just to focus on this point only, which I have given in the box, how to convert the warehouse cost that is given on per month basis into per unit basis. Please, beta, this is the most crucial part of this particular question, beta. Without this question is incomplete. So I'm giving you time of 2 minutes. Take your time to answer this point, how the warehouse cost, which is given on per month basis, can be converted into per unit basis. And mind it, beta, it requires a lot of application skill. So don't answer in a hurry. Take your time. You are having sufficient time of 2 minutes to think over this matter, how warehouse cost given on per month basis can be converted into per unit basis, है ना? 2 minutes are available with you. Please think over it, beta. It's a very, very important question from my side. How the data of warehouse given in per month will be converted on per unit basis. Can you please answer it, beta? Think about it, beta. Think about it. Nothing is impossible. You are trying. That's matter the most. Okay, beta. Now, please listen very carefully. Very, very important discussion is going on. Okay. We have been given the warehouse cost on per unit basis. Okay. Per month basis. We have to convert it on per unit basis. First of all, what we will do, take the example of refrigerated cost in warehouse. What is the refrigerated cost in warehouse? It's 1,52,000. Refrigerated cost in warehouse is 1,52,000 per month. What is the volume? See the last statement, volume of refrigerated goods. It's 25,000 cubic meter per month. It's 25,000 cubic meter per month. So 1,52,000 divided by 25,000 cubic meter per month, it will provide you the answer of 6.08. Now it's very, very, very important. 6.08. What 6.08? It's per cubic meter per month. In other words, if a product is stored in the warehouse for a month, for every cubic meter, rupees 6.08 is to be recovered. Once again, beta, once again. Then I will communicate this in Hindi also. This is very important. For every product that is being warehoused for a month, then rupees 6.08 is to be recovered for every cubic meter. Now in Hindi, warehouse में कोई भी प्रोडक्ट अगर 1 month तक हम स्टोर करते हैं तो हमें हर क्यूबिक मीटर के लिए 6.08 रुपी रिकवर करने हैं. If the product is stored for 2 months, 6.08 multiplied by 2 will be recovered. If the product is stored for half month, 6.08 multiplied by 0.5 will be recovered. For 6.08 per cubic meter per month. See the case of each and every product. Butter jelly is being stored. Butter jelly and icy cool are the refrigerated product. So butter jelly is stored in the warehouse for 1 month. So 6.08 multiplied by 1 month, it will give the answer of 6.08 per cubic meter. While in case of icy cool, 6.08 multiplied by 0.5, it will give you 3.04 per cubic meter. So converting the data given on per month basis, we will get a recovery rate of 6.08 per cubic meter per month. Now, if we apply this product in butter jelly and icy cool, why not in fruit and nut? Because it is not a refrigerated product. In butter jelly, it is stored for 1 month, and in icy cool, it is stored for 0.5 months. So the charges will be rupees 6.08 multiplied by 1 month will give per cubic meter answer. While here 3.04 per cubic meter since the product stored for just half month. But still the question is left. We require the data on per unit basis, while after converting the data from month to per cubic meter per month, still we are not getting the per unit data. Now this has to be divided units पर क्यूबिक मीटर. एक क्यूबिक मीटर में हम कितनी यूनिट स्टोर करते हैं, जब हम उससे डिवाइड करेंगे देन वी विल गॉट द कॉस्ट पर यूनिट रिलेटेड टू वेयरहाउस. अंडरस्टूड बेटा? बहुत 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 इंपॉर्टेंट कंसेप्ट है बेटा ना. हमें चाहिए डीपीसी पर यूनिट में. सवाल कीजिए आपसे हमें पर यूनिट में क्यों चाहिए? बिकॉज द सेल प्राइस इज एक्सप्रेस्ड ऑन पर यूनिट बेसिस. So the DPP, direct product profitability, is also to be calculated on per unit basis. So each and every cost of DPC, warehouse cost, transport cost, and retail cost is to be find out on unit basis. First of all, the detail is given on per month basis. We have converted that per month basis into per cubic meter per month. We have been given the detail of how much months it will take in the warehouse. We have converted that into per cubic meter, but still we require per unit data. So एक cubic meter में हम कितनी unit store करते हैं? When we will divide the data, we will be able to find out the cost of DPC on unit basis, है ना? Similarly बेटा, ये तो refrigerated का हुआ. Regarding the non-refrigerated, नहीं, not non-refrigerated, regarding the other goods. Please check other cost, not the other goods, it's other cost. What's the other cost apart from the refrigeration cost? It's the labor and staff cost and the material handling cost. Labor and staff cost are 27,000 and 28,000. So 27,000 plus 28,000 is equal to 55,000. 55,000. Now, the most important question, whether this 55,000 rupee given on per month basis is to be divided for a volume of non-refrigerated product, that is 40,000 minus 25,000 will provide you the volume of non-refrigerated data, or this 55,000 is to be divided by 40,000 cubic meter. First, before giving the answer, let's check the nature of the cost. 55,000 of warehouse cost consists of labor and staff cost and material handling cost. Ask yourself a simple question, whether these two costs are exclusively required for non-refrigerated cost then definitely it will be divided by 15,000 cubic meter. But if you get the answer no, labor and staff cost and the material handling cost are even required for the refrigerated product, then those 55,000 rupee per month will be divided by the total volume of 40,000. I'm giving you beta again 1 minute time to think on your own. This 55,000 rupee is to be divided by 15,000 cubic meter, or it is to be divided by 40,000 cubic meter. Answer lies in the nature of the cost. Please identify the nature of the cost of the 55,000. You will get the answer logically. 1 minute. Okay, beta. Priya Lodi, very good, beta. Priya, very, very good. It is to be divided by 40,000 because not only the non-refrigerated cost, non-refrigerated product require such cost, labor and material in cost. Even the refrigerated product will also require the labor cost, also require the material handling cost. So therefore, it will be divided by 40,000 cubic meter per month. Same data beta, 55,000 divided by 40,000. It will provide you 1.375. Again, very important point, per cubic meter per month. Per cubic meter per month. Now, this is to be converted butter jelly, fruit and nut, and icy cool. When you check, it's 1 month, it's 1.5 month, and it's 0.5 month. So when multiplied by 1.375, it will be 1.375. It will be 1.375 multiplied by 1.5. It's 2.0625. And it's 0.6875. All this answer are in per cubic meter. Again, this will be divided by units per cubic meter to get the warehouse cost, other cost on per unit basis. So this is the mechanism of solving this particular question. Since the sale price is given on unit basis, DPP is to be calculated on per unit basis. Real issue arises when you calculate the DPC on per unit basis, because warehouse cost and store cost are given on per month basis. So first of all, we have to convert it on per cubic meter per month. Then we have to consider how much time they have been in the warehouse to get the per cubic meter cost. Once we arrive at the per cubic meter cost, we will easily get the cost on per unit basis. Okay, beta. So I'm giving you time, beta. Please calculate on your own. Please calculate on your own the same calculation, the same methodology related to store cost. Find out the amount, beta. Find out the amount. What will be the per cubic meter cost related to store, related to refrigerated and non-refrigerated. Per cubic meter, जल्दी से मुझे आप cost निकाल के बताइए. I am giving you 2 to 3 minutes so that you will get the confidence how to deal with retail cost. Retail cost में भी दो bifurcation है, refrigerated cost and other cost. है ना बेटा? Same तरीका है. Just find it out. What is the cost per cubic meter in case of retail store? You have to find it out twice, one for refrigerated and one for other cost. Okay, beta? 2 or 3 minutes are available with you. Please provide me the answer, beta, once you're done with the calculation. Refrigerated cost of retail store and other cost of retail store on per cubic meter basis. Okay, beta. Now please check the answer. The refrigerated cost in case of retail store is 1,09,000 per month. The same volume is available, no other data is available. 25,000 per cubic meter per month. So 1,09,000 divided by 29,000, it will give 4.36 per cubic meter per month. You have to convert this into per cubic meter for butter, jelly and icy cool. And now check the retail store, not the warehouse. अब आप retail store का निकाल रहे हैं, तो check कीजिए retail store में ये product कितने months तक रहता है? 1 month and 1 month. Coincidentally, in retail store, the time period is 1 and 1 month. Okay, so no need to convert. It will be automatically converted into per cubic meter. So the per cubic meter cost will be 4.36. Here also 4.36 in the time taken in retail store is 1 month. Same calculation. 33,000 plus 47,000. It is 80,000 divided by 40,000 cubic meter. It will provide you the answer of ₹2 per cubic meter per month. Okay, बेटा. अब ये जो अदर कॉस्ट है ये हमारी तीनों प्रोडक्ट में इनकर्ड हो रही है. And the time period in month is 1 month, 2 month, and again 1 month. So the cost per cubic meter is ₹2, ₹4, and ₹2 in per cubic meter. When this cost will be divided by units per cubic meter, you will get the final answer, cost per unit, direct product cost on per unit basis. Clear है बेटा? चलिए अब देखिए जो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट है, the answer is very simple. The answer is very simple. What is the cost given for transportation? 3,200 and 4,900. Okay. How much volume is being carried by the van? 64 and 64. So you will directly get the cost per cubic meter related to transportation. Again, this will be divided by units per cubic meter. So transportation cost calculation is easier as compared to warehouse and store cost. This cost will be applicable for first and third product, butter, jelly, and icy cool, while this cost will be applicable only and only for the second product, that is fruit and nut. Okay, beta. Now, how do you find out? Units per cubic meter from the question? How this data can be found out? This is very simple. Please check the detail, beta. Just a minute, beta. Let me clear it so that I can highlight those points. इन दो डिटेल के द्वारा you can find out कि एक क्यूबिक मीटर में कितने यूनिट्स होती है. In the first information it is given in a cubic meter how many cartons are there, but we do not require cartons per cubic meter, we require items per cubic meter. So 42 cartons are there in 1 cubic meter, and in every carton we store 300 units. So 42 multiply by 300, 42 multiply by 300, it will provide you an answer of 12,600 units per cubic meter. Understood बेटा? थोड़ा सा क्वेश्चन का लेवल है, अनडाउटेडली It is the level question, beta, na? So it's a request from my side that you must solve this full question, illustration number 2, on your own in today's time only. है ना? कल के लिए postpone नहीं करना है. Don't postpone it for tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Do this question on a rough page on your own, whatever you have understood in this lecture. In case you are having any doubt, beta, you can go through the YouTube lecture, recorded lecture. You can once again watch, but this question has to be solved in today's time only, beta. No, do not postpone it for other day. Please, it's a request from my side. Once you are done to this question, then you will be done with the topic direct product profitability, a very, very important question given in the study material. Okay, beta. Now, the next session will be the last session related to chapter number 9, strategic analysis of operating income. The last session will be there related to chapter number 9, the next session. In that, we will cover the activity-based costing concept. What do you mean by activity-based budgeting? What is mean by activity-based management? And a very, very important concept given in the study material regarding the value-added and non-value-added activities ratios. That's a very cream part of next session will be the value-added and non-value-added activities ratio. Manufacturing cycle time, waiting time, testing time. All this will be computed through ratio. So most important concept in next session will be the value-added and non-value-added ratios. Okay, beta. Till then, it's more than enough for today's session, beta. Thank you for watching the session. God bless you. Have a great day. Thanks a lot, beta. Nifak bhai, please end the session.
नमस्कार। आप सबके साथ और सबके प्रयास से भारत ने 150 करोड़ कोविड टीकाकरण की बेमिसाल उपलब्धि हासिल की है। अपना टीकाकरण अवश्य पूर्ण करें और कोविड अनुरूप व्यवहार का पालन करते रहें।